So, Arsenal have one foot in the semi-final of the Europa League after an emphatic victory last night at the Emirates. Obviously, I was there, and you can check out my review of the game. If you go back through my videos, it is the last video on this channel. Before I get into my player ratings and how I thought the game went, don't forget, stick a massive thumbs up on the video and subscribe if you're new. Road to 10k. Share the content around. Let's build this channel. But anyway, on to the game last night. I am still buzzing that we beat them. I thought we'd beat them. I did think they'd offer a little bit more. I thought their fans were a little bit flat. Their performance was flat. And their players didn't really get into the game. Yes, they missed one great chance in the second half. They scored a couple of goals that were offside, but they already knew they were offside before they took the shot. But we limited them to absolutely nothing, really. Petr Cech, I thought he'd done really well. And we'll start with his player rating. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I don't think he really had a great deal to do. Not really had any shots to save as such, but every time the ball came into the box, he opted to punch, which I thought was the right decision. When the ball was played back to him on the deck, he worries the life out of me though. Seriously, it's not like when Leno's in goal where you just know he's composed, he's cool, and he'll just pop it off. Cech worries me, but I can't fault him. His kicking was great. His punches were great. He cleared them, got them really far out. Never threw them back into the danger zone. And like I said, he never really had a great deal to do. So 7 out of 10 for Petr Cech. On to Maitland-Niles. After the shock, embarrassing defeat up at Everton, and Maitland-Niles and Kolasinac both being the worst two players on the pitch, I thought they both stepped up so much last night. Maitland-Niles was heavily involved for the first goal, and I thought his all-round gameplay was brilliant. He nicked the ball, set up the first goal for Ramsey with the assist, and it was great play. What a team goal that was. That was fantasy football. It was a joy to watch that. And, you know, like I said, Ainsley Maitland-Niles had a massive part to play in that. He played the pass to Ozil and he carried his run on. I thought he was absolutely exceptional last night, and he was so close to being my man of the match. But he's not my man of the match. I thought he defended great. We limited Insigne and Callejon to literally nothing, and that was massively down to him. So I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10, but he isn't my man of the match. On to Kolasinac. Again, another one. I thought he was superb. He was shocking up at Everton at the weekend. But last night, he showed that he can be a top wing-back. And the reason we have invested 100-odd grand a week in this guy. Yes, I know we got him on a free, but if this guy could cross a ball properly, and I said it in my preview, if this guy could cross a ball properly and pick the right cross 8 out of 10 times, this tie would have been dead and buried, because he had so many opportunities to kill the tie off, and he either took a touch and then they closed him down, or he whipped it in first time when there was no one there. But with that being said, I do think he was superb last night. I thought he was tracking back. He got back in position. He didn't let anyone bully him. Yes, obviously he's got loads of physicality, the size of the guy, but he was an outlet all night, and we pinned them back so much, especially in that first half. And every time he got the ball, he caused problems. So for me, I'm going to give him 8 out of 10. I don't think he was quite as good as Ainsley Maitland-Niles, but I do think he had a massive, massive impact on our game last night. So fair play to him and to Maitland-Niles. Like I said, I dug into them both after the Everton game, but they both proved me wrong last night. They stepped up massively, and they had to. On to our centre-backs. I'll start with Nacho Monreal. I thought he was the poorest of the three. I think that they targeted him. I think they see that Kolasinac was going to bomb forward, so they tried doing that over-the-top ball down the wing, and they got in quite a few times. And you know it's not Monreal's fault. He's got no pace, is it really? But at the end of the day, he has to use his know-how. But I'm not going to quote him off too much. He's been a massive, massive part of Arsenal Football Club for a few years now, and he's been one of our most consistent players. But I think this season we have seen that Nacho Monreal is the target for teams that we play against, and he is finished. He's not quite what he used to be, and it's a shame because he has been a good player for Arsenal. But on the night, like I said, I don't think he was the best out of the three. He was probably the worst out of the three centre-backs. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. On to Koscielny. Wow, I didn't want him to start. I thought it was too soon. When I see the lineup, I thought, wow, he's been out for a few weeks, and we're throwing him straight back into this game. He's up against Dries Mertens. Callejon, Insigne, etc., etc. But wow, what a performance. And why can't this guy do this consistently week in, week out? I know he has his ups and downs, and I know he's had his injuries, he's had some massive injuries. And listen, I've been on his case a few times this season, but wow, he has put some shifts in this season. And when he does, you can see he is a top-class centre-back. And at the end of the day, he's another one going forward that is going to have to leave the club in the summer if we want to challenge for a title. But last night, he was absolutely exceptional, and another one that I could have had that close to being man of the match. But again, he ain't my man of the match, but what a performance. Fair play to him, because I thought he was finished, and he proved last night that he wasn't. He's alive and kicking. Last but no means least at centre-back is Socrates, and I think he went about his business quite well. He marshalled the defence. Dries Mertens didn't have a kick. Between the three centre-backs, Dries Mertens did nothing. And I said to Robbie after the game on my fan cam that Insigne, Callejon and Mertens, none of them would cut it in the Premier League, because they're not up to the intensity, the physicality. You know, when people look at Sterling might be small, but that guy is strong as an ox. That guy is knocking people off the ball. These players, Insigne, I watched him last night. That geezer's smaller than Lucas Torreira. He is an absolute midget. And literally, blow on him, he's falling over, crying for free kicks. And I thought our defence marshalled Mertens. Mertens has got a load of pace, but there's a reason no top class team has ever come in for Dries Mertens. Yes, he's got all the talent. Yes, he's got the pace, but he's just lacking that little bit of X factor that means that he stayed at Napoli. And, you know, that's no discredit to him. He's a good footballer, and it's only halfway in the tie, so I might eat these words in a couple of days' time next week. But at the end of the day, from what I see from Insigne, Callejon and Mertens, none of them would cut it in the Premier League. None of them. But anyway, for me, Socrates was an 8 out of 10. And like I said, all three of them defenders, plus our wing-backs, were absolutely superb. Monreal was the weak point, but it never came to anything in the end. But on to midfield. We'll start with Aaron Ramsey. What a performance from him. Listen, I've seen the love fest for him. People are saying, why are we letting this guy go? We're letting him go because he run a contract down and held us to ransom. That is the reality of it. That's not hating. I think he's been the model professional. I think he's been absolutely fantastic in spells this season. I see people saying last night, why have we not played this guy all season? Well, the reason we haven't played him all season is because he gets injured often. So if you play him for 3 months, he will then get a 2-month injury. You then bring him back in, he plays for 3 months, he gets a 1-month injury. Unai Emery has managed this guy to an absolute T this season. And fair play to Aaron Ramsey, because since he signed that contract at Juventus, he has been unbelievable. And it's like, why haven't we seen this for a decade? We've seen it in fits and spurts, but we ain't seen it consistently. But fair play to him. He has really taken it upon himself to put a shift in for us. And anybody who goes and signs for another club whilst being at a club could quite easily switch off, especially when they're counting their 400 grand a week. So fair play to Aaron Ramsey. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. But again, he is not my man of the match. And there's so many 9s all over the place, but it was close with him as well. I thought he was brilliant. I thought his energy levels were great. The way he took his goal. He should have fucking put the game out of sight. He should have dead and buried it. He skied one over the bar, leaned back a little bit too much. And it's so frustrating because we missed so many sitters in that game. And their goalkeeper made some great saves. But Ramsey could have killed the tie and made it 3-0. But that's not taking anything away from him. His performance was brilliant last night, 9 out of 10. On to Mesut Ozil, my mate. I praised him in the fan cam afterwards. And again, I thought he was superb last night. And fair play to Unai Emery, because I didn't expect him to play in that game. He did play in the game, and Emery managed him perfectly again. He subbed him after 65, 70 minutes, whatever it was last night. I actually thought Ramsey should have come off. And I thought Ramsey looked a little bit more weary, a bit leggy. But he subbed Ozil, and ultimately it worked. And Ozil's pressing, his defending, he went in for 50-50s, which is something I criticise him for not doing. His intensity, it was great. It was nice to see. But that's what winds me up with this guy. You can do it at home. I want to see you do it away. So let's see if he can do it away at Watford. hopefully he can, and hopefully he can help us get a win. And then the same again next week. I'm going to give Ozil an 8 out of 10. He had a part to play in the first goal as well. And he actually did really great with that as well, because he could have popped that off to Ramsey straight away. Instead, he held it for a split second longer, brought more players forward, let Maitland-Niles go forward and Lacazette, then he popped it off, which helped us get runners in behind. But yeah, fair play to him, 8 out of 10. Lucas Torreira, this is my man of the match. He's getting a 9 out of 10, but we have missed this guy so badly, it is unbelievable. And we see that last night, and I think the fact that he's been suspended for a few weeks, 3 games, whatever it was, I think that's helped him. It might not have helped us, but it's helped him, because he looked like the Lucas Torreira when he first broke into our first team. He was absolutely brilliant, and he summed it up with his goal. I know it deflected in off of Koulibaly, but he's pressed the guy, he's nicked the ball, he's run at pace towards the goal, he's done a heel chop, and then he's pinged a shot that's deflected in. What a performance from this geezer. Everything good about our midfield last night started with Lucas Torreira. He dictated the tempo of our press last night. And then Ozil and Ramsey followed suit, and our wing-backs joined in as well. And I thought he was outstanding, and long may that continue, because we're going to need that little warrior for the rest of this season if we're going to win this competition or get top 4. For me, 9 out of 10, man of the match. On to our strikers. Ironically, they were quite quiet. Lacazette did an air shot in the first half, completely missed the ball. Great bit of play from Aubameyang, squared it to Laka, and he just completely missed it. And at that point, I'm sitting there like, oh, we're going to rue these chances. They're going to score. But he had another chance in the second half. But I thought it was quite a quiet game, and I'm going to mark both of them 6 out of 10. I don't think they imposed their game properly. That's no discredit to them. I thought the midfield bossed it, and it was one in midfield. But when Lacazette went off, I was quite surprised. But thinking about it logically, when he took the subs off and then brought the subs on, it made sense, because if you keep the pace on, they were chasing the game. They were trying to nick a goal. So if you keep Aubameyang on instead of Lacazette and then bring on Mickey and Iwobi, obviously you've got pace going the other way. So fair play to Emery for that. But like I said, it was quite a quiet game for both of them. They didn't do anything wrong. They just couldn't get in the game. So 6 out of 10 for the pair of them. On to our substitutes. I'll start with Mickey. I thought he was the best of the 3 when he came on. He was the one that set the chance up for Ramsey, who blazed it over into the North Bank upper. But he gave the ball away a couple of times, put us under pressure a little bit. But ultimately, he was an outball for us. And it was nice to see. Listen, if Mkhitaryan plays well, Arsenal play well. And it was nice the fact that he came off the bench and he looked full of energy. I want to see that again on Monday if he plays, and definitely next week. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Alex Iwobi, I don't think he really got into the game. There was a chance where we broke away and Aubameyang's romping away through the centre circle, and Iwobi made a great run. And Aubameyang held on to it too long, and it was like, why didn't you pass? Iwobi was clean through on goal. All you had to do was feed that ball through the centre-backs. He was in on goal. He didn't do it, but other than that, Iwobi, he gave the ball away a couple of times. He was a little bit sloppy, a little bit clumsy. I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Mohamed El Neni, the scapegoat from Everton at the weekend, he came on, and that is when you want to see El Neni come on. When you're 2-0 up and protecting a lead. And he did what he does. Kept it simple, cleared the ball, hoofed it. Literally every time he got the ball, just levered that ball, put his laces through it. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Nothing flash, nothing fancy, it is what it is. Unai Emery, 10 out of 10. Unbelievable from our manager last night. The Europa League specialist. I thought he got his tactics spot on. I thought he got his sub spot on. And he was absolutely fantastic. The way we set up for that game, the game management as well. It's just gutting that we didn't get a couple more goals, because we fully deserved a 4-5-0 out of that game. But 10 out of 10, I think that was one of his best games, if not his best game. As for the fans, there was 3 Italians in front of me, stood in front of me in the North Bank lower. They left with their towels between their legs with about 10 minutes to go. They knew what had happened. They knew they came, they see, and they failed. And they probably didn't like the fact that we were cussing them the whole game. But it is what it is. Didn't really hear the Napoli fans. That's credit to the Arsenal fans. I'm going to give the Arsenal fans 8 out of 10. It would have been higher, but there was a lot of empty seats last night, especially in the upper at the clock end. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Give me your player ratings. Was Aaron Ramsey your man of the match? Mine was Lucas Torreira. Ramsey could have a case. Maitland-Niles, Koscielny. Was Ozil better than an 8? Do you think I was harsh on Iwobi, Laka and Aubameyang? Let me know. Leave it all down there. Don't forget, stick a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe if you're new. And I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.